Yes, welcome back to the Sports Show, mate. We got off to a bit of a start on Port Adelaide, and we will come back to them. But I want to talk to you about Crows versus Carlton this weekend. 12th versus 14th. Carlton seem to be struggling a fair bit at the moment. This is another gettable game for the Crows.
That's a very gettable game for the Crows. I think the Crows will win it.
Yep.
The only problem the Crows face this week is they're going to be coming up against a side that's just been given a bake, a real bake.
Well, they'll be getting a couple of good bakes
everybody. That's
lately.
right.
Yep.
So they're about to, they'll fire up. It's whether Adelaide can handle that heat early. If they do, I think Adelaide can beat them.
You know what's funny though?
They're the easiest team to score against, Phil. Carlton, from teams bringing the ball out of defence.
Yes.
They are the easiest team to score against. What Adelaide have been doing well lately is bringing the ball out of defence and running it up the ground. They've been doing that very well. So unless Carlton improve in that area, the Crows will beat them.
Yeah. Well,
Crows will beat them.
Could you see the Crows sneak into the 8?
No.
They're not that far out.
Well, they're 2.5 games, basically.
There's
percentage.
enough time. It would be a massive surprise for them to get there. I think based on last year and this year, I don't think they will.
No,
but it's not impossible either, which is surprising that we would sit here at the start of the year. I think we were all saying, gee, if they could win 5 games, that'd be good.
Yeah.
You know, I think they've probably exceeded. Next year's going to be a good test for them.
Yeah.
Good test for the Crows to see how their improvement is.
If they continue on the way they're going by recruiting Port Adelaide people like Matthew Nix and Burgess and anyone, get all these Port blokes in there,
they'll be
they're
all right.
a chance.
Okay, all right.
I think they'll win on the weekend.
I know that. Port up against Sydney.
There's a big game too. Another big game.
5v6.
Yeah, and as I said, injury-wise, I think Port's really struggling at the moment. You know, funnily enough, though, Phil, the side they put on paper on the park looks okay.
Yeah.
But then you go back and you see Cleary, Fantasia, Gray, Jones. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. There's a lot of blokes not playing and that are first choice players.
Yeah.
So that's a classic. That'll be a really good game. Don't write Sydney off. Sydney are a pretty good side. Beaten a lot of sides in the top 8.
Yep.
Where Port haven't. Although they don't class Richmond as a top side anymore, do they? I mean, Port knocked them off, but evidently they're not in the top 8.
I think they've got a similar injury list sitting on the sideline as well.
Exactly right, mate. So, yeah, good game, but my daddy told me 2 things as a kid. Never, ever, ever tip against Port Adelaide.
Yep.
And always wear a white shirt, son, you'll never get a dirty job.
Right, okay, well, we'll make a note of those. That'll be good value. Hey, just quickly, I wanted to ask you this, because I spoke at a function last week and I was talking about coaches and having spent a fair bit of time.
You love the coaches.
I do love the coaches, you know, I support them. Just as a question, and you're probably closer to it, so you have a good idea, but I said, what do you think an average AFL coach, hours per week that he works? Now, most people, 9 to 5 jobs, 40-hour week, weekend off, they think they're working pretty hard.
Yeah.
What do you reckon it is? That's what the answer is.
70?
70 is dangerously close. 80 is about where it's at the moment this year, because they've had coaches that have had to be made redundant due to the restrictions that have been placed on them because of COVID and the salary, the $3.6 million cut.
Yep.
So I'm suggesting that the AFL needs to pay a bit of attention to the workload that the coaches are under.
Absolutely.
So if you're working, if you think for a moment I'm working 80 hours a week, all I'm saying is that just have a look at some of the evidence that surrounds that. Most people don't know because they've never sat in the seat.
Yeah.
So then you watch it, then you go, and no disrespect to these 3 gentlemen, Buckley, Hardwick and Goodwin, marriages all broke down.
Yeah.
Reece Shaw said, I can't keep doing this, it's too stressful.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years back, a coach tried to take his life.
Yeah.
You know, there's a mirror of suddenly head coaches starting to go, hey, I've reached the limit here.
Good point, mate.
And then you say, that's okay, they've got the off-season to recover. I guarantee you now they're down to 70 hours because now they're trying to work out who's in their team.
Yeah,
who am I getting? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? So I was just amazed though when I asked the question, what most people thought coaches would work, and you know what the answer was? 40 to 45 hours?
Yeah.
I'm going,
nowhere near it.
Not even close.
Nowhere near
And then those people that sit there and fire darts at them and rockets, and David Teague's under fire at the moment. You know, at the start of the year it was Leon Cameron.
Yeah.
I'm amazed it hasn't moved. Then it was, it just amazes me how quick we are to put our trust in people. And we just spoke with John Casey before. It was really interesting when he said, I don't give an opinion, I asked the question of the experts.
Yeah.
I think we're becoming much more with our journalists giving opinions. And you go, what are you basing your opinion on? So when, use Caroline Wilson because she's in the headlines at the moment, so when she fires off an arrow, or Kane Corns or Matty Lloyd fire off arrows at these coaches, I want to know what experience you've got in that area.
Yeah, that's right.
And do you know
Should
what
be
they've
doing
got?
that.
Do you know what they've got?
None.
None.
That's right, none.
I wouldn't mind if they said they had a little bit.
Yeah,
but they
that's
haven't
right.
even spent a season working as assistant coaches.
Do you know, speaking to the Port Adelaide coaches at the end of, not to 2020 so much, but 2019, about that very thing, about the, oh, mate, you can go and have a spell now, go and play some golf. No, this is a busy time.
Yeah.
Now's the busy time.
Absolutely.
Now we get busy.
It's the busiest time.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's not just the footy season.
I just, and I defend the coaches. And again, having spent time with lots of them sitting in that seat, I think they're really underrated for the amount of work they do.
Very true.
Hey, everybody, hope you've enjoyed the show. We look forward to your company next week. Bye for now.